federal government is being increasingly open about its decades-long investigation of UFOs. They have spent millions of dollars, and officials admit now they've seen many things they don't understand. We decided to ask the president about it. Here was his semi-cryptic answer. Watch.
You gave an interview the other day in which you said you've been briefed on unidentified flying objects. Are they real?
Well, I don't want to really get into it too much, but personally, I tend to doubt it. I mean, you have people that swear by it, right? And pilots have come in and they said, and these are pilots that are not pilots that are into that particular world, but we have had people saying that they've seen things. I'm not a believer, but, you know, I guess anything's possible.
We spoke to a government official recently who said the U.S. government had wreckage from a UFO in a facility on an Air Force base. Are you familiar with that?
I haven't heard that, no. I haven't heard that. It has not been within government, has not been a big thing, but I've seen it. I've seen it on your show, but I've seen it. I don't assume it's correct, but, you know, I have an open mind, Tucker.
No, you do, Mr. President. Thank you for that.
Nowadays, you can believe anything, right?
True.
Welcome, fellow digital soldiers, to True Reporting. It is the 6th of July, and on today's podcast, we will be covering so much unnatural phenomenon going on in the past couple of days. It's going to take us a minute to get through. I have an article here from CNN entitled, "A Second Earthquake Hit Southern California in as Many Days. It's 5 times bigger than Thursday's." My friends, if you were unaware of earthquakes, usually when a big earthquake hits, it slowly goes back down. The Richter scale goes back down. For instance, this was a 7.1, and then we go to 6.6, then 5.4, because it has reverberation. But, my friends, this is not what occurred. It hit at 7.1 and then went higher. This is not how natural phenomenons work. I find this to be something different, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. At least try to. My friends, before we get into today's podcast, will you please welcome my new sponsor, PocketNet.com. Hey guys, I wanted to fill you in on something that came across my desk. Mass media and Silicon Valley censorship of conservatives has gone into overdrive. I want to tell you about a new social network that is the answer to this suppression. PocketNet.app is a first social network that has no corporation or central server. It works like a network of equal nodes, kind of like Bitcoin, so it is very difficult to shut down or censor. And we know the shutdown is coming. Only users decide which content is appropriate for them to see. When you get high ratings for your content, you earn Pocketcoin, the PocketNet system token. Create your private key. Log in at PocketNet.app. Viewers of this channel get a special offer. For a limited time, you can get 5 Pocket Coins for signing up at PocketNet.app. Use the link below this video to do that. This is your chance to get in early, build your reputation, and defend your right to speech on the platform of the future. Go to PocketNet.app to join now. Thank you, and God bless. All right, guys, it's great to have you aboard. Let's go ahead and hop into it. This is True Reporting. So again, a second earthquake hit Southern California in as many days. It's 5 times bigger than Thursday's. We see here Ridgecrest, California, a powerful 7.1 magnitude earthquake swayed buildings and cracked streets and foundations in Southern California on Friday night, sending terrified residents into the streets a day after another quake hit. The latest earthquake Friday struck 11 miles northeast of Ridgecrest. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, it was 5 times bigger and 11 times stronger than this Thursday's 6.4 magnitude earthquake, also centered near Ridgecrest, CNN meteorologist Brandon Miller says. Firefighters battle a house on fire Saturday on July 6th after the 7.1 earthquake. There's been an average of 1 aftershock per minute since Friday's quake in the southern part of the state, according to the U.S. Geological Survey website. Gas leaks caused structure fires throughout Ridgecrest. Residents reported water main breaks, and power and communications were out in some areas. According to Mark Garaducci, director of the Governor's Office of Emergency Management, several injuries were reported, according to Kern County spokeswoman Megan Person. About 130 residents from Bakersfield and Trona were staying in a temporary shelter, Person said. On behalf of all Californians, I offer my heartfelt support to those affected by tonight's earthquake near Ridgecrest, Governor Gavin Newsom, the bum, said Saturday. Terrifying moment. Anchors react to the earthquake on set. Let's go ahead and take a look at this video real quick. It was intense.
Here, we're making sure that nothing is going to come down in the studio here.
And it is going for quite a bit, everybody. It continues
this is a very strong
to rattle
earthquake.
pretty strong here.
8:21 here on the air. We're experiencing very strong shaking.
Wow.
I think we need to get under the desk.
All right, we're going to go to break. We'll be right back after
we'll be right
this.
back.
Wow.
The San Bernardino County Fire Department said it received multiple reports of damage, as well as from the northwest communities. Homes shifted, foundations cracks, retaining walls down, the department said. One injury, minor, with firefighters treating patient. It says here, Trona, a town of 2,000 people, does not have the power or water. San Bernardino County Fire spokesperson Jeremy Kern told CNN. Workers had been restoring power from the initial earthquake when Friday's disrupted power again. Both earthquakes disrupted the main water systems. Officials are bringing in water to residents and fire teams. No injuries have been reported in the town. It lasted longer. This is strange. It lasted longer than Thursday's earthquake. Bakerfield's resident Giovanna Gomez was at home with her family when their house swayed and the water in her pool overflowed. They ran outside, and as you watched the intro video, that was that footage of the pool shifting. It was about a minute long, she said, far larger than the one that happened yesterday. It was a smooth roll back and forth. Bakersfield is in Kern County, about 110 miles from Ridgecrest. Donald Castle, who lives in Porterville, west of Ridgecrest, said his house shook for nearly 25 seconds. It was more of a shake than what we've had on the 4th. It lasted longer. It was more rolling, he said. No reports of a major gas leak or fatalities have been made. Kern County Fire Department Chief David Witt said, but calls came in for ambulance and medical assistance. Guys, again, this was not a joke. I don't believe this to be natural. I believe that something is taking place below these cities. Deep underground military bases, I believe, are being attacked, probably deep state. That is just my speculation. Remember, at the beginning of all my videos, there is a disclaimer showing you to use your own discernment because, again, this is speculation, but we are aware of deep underground military bases from 17, right? They've told us that these things exist, and I believe that they are being wiped out, the ones that are controlled by the deep state. Moving forward, let's go into some memes. A lot of information we need to get to. Okay, guys, so I have not spoken to you since July 4th. That was 2 days ago. We obviously watched the Salute to America. It was beautiful. A great crowd of tremendous patriots this evening, all the way back to the Washington Monument. And we know CNN and all the liberal mainstream media, the Mockingbird media, is trying to discredit the crowds and besmirch our loyal president. But again, a crowd all the way back to the Washington Monument. At 17-ish, the minute mark, it's happening, Gene, it's happening. This is from Patriot Politics Research, Washington District of Columbia. What does he mean? For our nation's celebration of our Independence Day, did you catch it? When precisely the 17-minute mark, President Trump mentioned Gene Kranz and said in reference to putting an American flag on Mars, and is quoting as saying, "It's happening, Gene, it's happening." Eugene Francis Kranz is an American aerospace engineer. Kranz served as NASA's second chief flight director, directing missions of the Gemini and Apollo programs, including the first lunar landing mission, Apollo 11. Now, I found that to be strange because there were a lot of occurrences that people are trying to discredit. People are obviously arguing online about the lights in the sky, that we could be seeing T3Bs in the sky. That is a form of a triangular craft that many people know about, and that they're most likely ours. But I believe that just because we're having flyovers from helicopters and the new Marine One, also Air Force One, and we had the tanks on the ground, the M1 tanks, very impressive. I believe there was something else in the sky that if you paid attention to, I believe that these lights and these pictures coming about are supposed to be put out there. I don't believe it just to discredit the movement. I really believe that someone is taking these pictures and putting them out there on purpose because they're trying to prove a point. Moving forward, we see Melania, always beautiful as always, with a dress, very beautiful dress, and people have their speculations on the color scheme and the lines. Earthquakes are shown as colored circles, where the size of the circle tells you the magnitude of the quake. Using the legend at the top left of the map, only earthquakes of magnitudes of 4.0 or greater are displayed. Age of earthquake, the last 24 hours, animates briefly when page is loaded. Red, orange, yellow, magenta. See here, magenta, blue, yellow. They almost look like seismographic lines, right? You know, again, speculation, but still just quite strange. There are no coincidences, right? From 24 to 48 hours, from 3 to 2 weeks, from 2 weeks up to 5 years, the distribution of earthquakes over the past 5 years is represented by the purple colored dots and demonstrates how earthquakes define the boundaries of tectonic plates, as well as the relationship between the topography and earthquakes. Explanation of colors. And we can see here the white, the blue, the green, the yellow, the red. The white dress, the yellow, the green, the black, the blue, the purple, remember, magenta. White hats have intervened in this. This could have been much worse. Many lives saved. Been fully briefed on the earthquake in Southern California. All seems to be very much under control. Patriots are in control. White hats are in control, right? Then from Mark Taylor, we see here, do you really think that we are that stupid not to see through your coded messages? Repent. You and your treasonous brother will be held accountable. Repent now before it is too late. Time is up for those who are corrupt. Justice inbound. And from Jeb Bush, we see 3 presidents die on July 4th. Just a coincidence? I mean, give me a break. Who even tweets that out? Even the most normie person would be like, what the hell does that even mean? Will earthquakes ever be targeted and created artificially? This is from Lionel Nation. Or have they been? Right, exactly. I mean, I believe that they're being artificially created. They could be created through geoengineering. Obviously, we know that there are weather manipulations out there. But also, could they be created through a destructive, maybe improvised operation of deep underground military bases? I think so. I think that's what's going on, and we will get to that. From Joe M., we see here from the Tribunal Report, California, large earthquake in Central California with a magnitude of 6.5 and a depth of 5 miles occurred right under Naval Air Weapons Station, China Lake. They are responsible for testing and developing advanced weaponry. There is also a geothermal field on base. Okay, this happened directly under this Naval Air Weapons Station base in China Lake. There are no coincidences, right? Then we can see here 11/11/18, 11/11 maps, 274 on the clock. Q was right all along, military grade. A parade that will never be forgotten. This is March 6, 2018, okay? Ask yourself why. God bless our brave men and women in uniform. We will never forget, okay? 11/11, July 3rd, 2019, tweeted out, military grade. Q was right all along. Kern County Fire says here, emergency alert. Another possible earthquake has been predicted within the next 15 minutes in or near Kern County. From Dr. Sarah McBride, Disastrous Comms, it says here, the USGS scientists here, no one can predict the exact time and location to this exact time frame. The USGS has put out a forecast, but not to the exact timing. More here. What are they talking about? How does Kern County know the prediction of this 15-minute aftershock, right? They say this woman is a doctor, Sarah McBride. They cannot predict the exact time and location to this exact time frame. Are these earthquakes being created non-organically? We will be making an appearance, Majestic 12, this evening during the fireworks. Eyes on the sky. We will not be announcing our arrival. Still highly classified. Space Force declassifies many new crafts. And I guess that this is a coordinates here, this 38.8, 77.05. Maybe that is a time frame. I'm not sure. But this was at 7:25. This was actually before the fireworks, but I believe maybe a little after the Salute to America speech. And we did see lights. There were lights in the sky that we can get into, and we can speculate all we want to. We can argue. Remember, I'm not here to separate anyone from the movement or discredit anything. I am putting out raw information in real time that I find is deemed worthy of putting out on my channel. So if you don't like it, if you think I'm some kind of shill, well, I'm not. Only one aircraft that did flyovers of the 4th July Trump speech showed up on radar. Only one. Call sign was in Game 20, a Coast Guard helo. So obviously the helicopter. In Game 20 equals in game. Coincidence? End flipping game. Put this in your thoughts and listen to Q plus speech again. POTUS told us it's in game time. In chess, the end game refers to the stage of the game when few pieces are left on board. In particular, pawns become more important as end games often revolve around attempting to promote a pawn by advancing it to the 8th rank. So a lot of pieces have been taken off the board. Possibly we're just left with small military bases, maybe small-time players. One can only imagine. But we are moving forward. We are progressing. We can see here the flyovers were set up as a disclosure bluff. This came from Vote. I believe that this came from Jordan Sather too. Opinion. The manner in which the flyovers were handled could likely have been the final white hat big bluff to draw out the final ammunition of the deep dying state who fears nothing more than losing control of the biggest secret in the history of humanity. JFK wasn't the first president who worked towards disclosure or taking back control of what our own tax dollars had secretly funded, but he was the first to lose his life in the preparation of doing so, among other honorable swamp-draining efforts. Trump appears poised to finish many of the things that JFK started, and disclosure, likely only partial, is one of them, and they both know this, and will do anything in their power to prevent it. Trump teed up the bluff in typical brilliant fashion. Multiple tweets of the spectacular upcoming flyovers, bringing in the tanks to shift the focus towards a military-themed tweeting aircraft. One, and then correcting it to Air Force, setting himself up with a speaking role with all of his generals at his side. And of course, the clear mention of the Space Force, which seemed to draw more cheers than anything else, and saying that we see them very soon. We will see them very soon. But alas, the most brilliant aspect was the arrangement of the show, as he moved through each branch, allowing them to show off their toys, one after the other, leaving many of us and likely the bad guys wondering what the newly created Space Force may bring to the table to cap things off. This bluff played out to the very last minute, likely ending in relief for the traitors and leaving a few of us who are craving disclosure just a bit disappointed that a TR-3B didn't beam up a tank or two and blip away, thereby robbing the deep state of their most treasured secret, dare I say, dashing their decade-long plans of a new world order hoax in the form of Project Bluebeam. Alas, it was not to be, yet. But it earned a fairly major black eye for the 5 major news networks, who refused to cover the event and a large earthquake centered directly under the lake bed of a secret weapons lab in California. Of noteworthiness, there were also reports of a foiled assassination attempt and 2 nuclear submarines having incidents, but we'll likely never know what all was gained during this lovely fake out. Sure, there were the same rumors of the JFK Jr. thing, And lo and behold, they made certain that most knew that old Vincent Fusca was in attendance via pictures with Patriots on Twitter. Now, I will say this is off the cuff. I am on the fence about the whole JFK Jr. Conspiracy theory. It is a conspiracy theory. It is not a conspiracy. It is very much a conspiracy theory. No one has seen him. Vincent Fusca, and from what I've learned, is 5'8", 5'9", and we know, and you can search it, that John F. Kennedy Jr. is 6'1". I do not believe Vincent Fusca is John F. Kennedy Jr. Want to dispute this? We can. But moving forward, I just want to be on the record to say that I'm still on the fence about JFK Jr. being alive. And sure, that rumor could have also been part of the ruse if our golden child is still breathing. But if you look at how the entire event was managed, it certainly looked like Trump was about to drop a truth bomb like no other in history, but instead gave us a wonderfully patriotic celebration and the most real fireworks that I have ever seen. So go ahead, play the last couple of weeks back in your head. I dare you. If disclosure is real, is a real possibility, and it's truly difficult to even pretend it isn't, if you ask me, can you see how perfectly the entire event was played from the build-up all the way through to the final minutes? I'd say it was beyond brilliant. For those of you like me who crave disclosure, I think it's safe to say that we should expect it when we're not expecting it. Absolutely. Because the White Hats / 17 have proven themselves to be the best planning misdirection strategist humanity has ever witnessed. And we must of course thank Q for even allowing us to witness a portion of it. So coming from, I believe this was off of Facebook, peace through strength, another great statement always shared by our POTUS. Oh, how the enemy hates this idea. For the enemy, strength is nothing more than a means to an end, to be wielded whenever and wherever in order to destroy, control, and inflict misery. This is why the enemy works so hard to destroy the righteous concept of the correct and proper use of strength. What is true strength? Parents are given strength in order to protect and care for their children. Men are given strength to protect and provide shelter for their families. The true strength of women is one that are nurturers, empowers, and multiplies the potential of their families. The same concept lies behind the proper and righteous use of military in a community and nation. But the enemy envies and hates those strengths. And in the 20th century, when the art of propaganda and information manipulation hit the mainstream, evil has worked very hard at destroying the righteous concept of true strength. If we are a sovereign over our nations, it means we are responsible for them. To be sovereign means to bear the responsibility for the destiny of that which one is sovereign over. One of the key factors in success of the American Revolution was the role played by the militia. While I am not exactly proficient in military history, I do think from a spiritual perspective, which I am very spiritual, the fact that militias stood up and took responsibility for the country was probably a key spiritual factor making the victory possible. We need that spirit today. Yes, I agree. Instead of signing over responsibility to the state, whether in the form of police, military, etc., for keeping the peace and then representing them when they do not make us happy, citizens of our nation need to revive the idea of being responsible through strength for their community and country. God will bless such a mentality and attitude. This is not to say that we should not be supporting our police and military. We should. And POTUS 45 is showing people everywhere the right kind of attitude towards the military, appreciation, support, and backing. However, from the perspective of a citizenry, the military and the police, like POTUS, like you-know-who 17, are in a servant's position. And to be truly worthy of such servants as sovereigns, we cannot have the attitude of simply leaving it all up to them. Our military will only be as strong as the spirit of the people whom they serve. Beautiful. We are exceedingly fortunate that when in the flame of the citizenry was oppressed and in the danger of being extinguished, the 17 team stepped up as true servants and saved us from disaster. It is the best service a true servant offers, to empower, protect, and uphold. The challenge for us now is to live up to their sacrifice, and this is the truth for all people in all nations. Peace through strength, the might for peace. Principle is not simply a matter of government policy. It is an ethos all good citizens must embrace and promulgate. It must become part of the bedrock of our culture. The United States has spearheaded this thrust in its 200-plus year history. Time is now to bring that culture worldwide. Right? Then we can see here Tucker Carlson, again from the beginning of our video here today. We can see here in the back corner on this tower, someone pointed this out to me in an interview with Tucker, just kind of reporting from North Korea. We can see here on this tower, what does that look like to you? To me, my friends, that looks like a Q. Is it coincidence? I do not know. Is it a Q? I don't know. It certainly seems like one, but and it's definitely in place of him, where he's aligned. Were they trying to show it? Could be. Did anyone catch this phrase at the end of the speech yesterday? That statement is very powerful, and he was speaking directly to the cabal. When 17 said they were going to show you a brave new world, he was talking about the suppressed technologies that could bring humanity out of darkness, dark to light. Had these technologies been released to the public when they were discovered, the world would be a much different place today. Of course, the cabal couldn't allow that. They needed ways to trap and enslave humanity. Having the ability to meter energy for the public was a major step in their plans for world dominance. Standard Oil. The big picture isn't about arrest or dismantling child trafficking networks, although these are very important pieces. Thank you, Sessions. This is about freeing all of humanity so we can finally start on the path to our full potential. True freedom for all those people on this planet. Freedom to reach your full potential if you choose. The people are waking up. The chains are being broken. The panic is setting in for those who thought they had complete control. They became arrogant. They believed they were gods. They got sloppy. Now it's our turn. We've been waiting for this time, a time when they would be blinded by their own ignorance. Their whole house is built on deception, and it is crumbling at an very ever accelerating pace. Truth can be obfuscated. Truth can be hidden. But in the end, the truth always finds a way to reveal itself. And we can see here from the speech from Trump, thank you, we will always be the people who defeat a tyrant, crossed a continent, harnessed science, took to the skies, and soared into the heavens. Wow, soared into the heavens. Because we will never forget that we are Americans and the future belongs to us. Applause. The future belongs to us. The connection between Nikola Tesla and Donald Trump. Right here, right? And we all know the tie between John G. Trump and Nikola Tesla. And I believe the future is nearing very rapidly. All right, guys, back to the earthquakes. At the NWS_NTWC, a buoy off of the coast of California just went into event mode, quotes, signifying an abnormal water level in the area. This detection system is an early warning for a possible tsunami or seismic event that has yet to reach land. Earthquake, LA, California earthquake. Urgent wave motion in the Pacific, buoys in event mode. It is naive to think that the elite powers that have not been building elaborate systems of deep underground military bases, tunnels, transportation for decades. You think we see some horrors on the surface? Imagine what's going on down there. How much are we all connected? And again, I mean, they're digging tunnels. There's tunnels under everything. Fifth Avenue, in downtown Manhattan, under the Pentagon, under the White House, under huge structures, under military bases, everywhere that there is something, even under the Standard Hotel, right? Even under Hugh Hefner's Playboy Mansion, there are tunnels. There's tunnels everywhere. From Incarnated ET, please follow this person on Twitter, please. Ladies and gentlemen, this is offense. 16th quake in Southern California. China Lake, weapons of mass destruction, deep underground military bases, in-game. Again, that word, in-game. The epicenter of spiritual malfeasance is California. Metaphorically, it's where the wrath will be presented to the people. I truly believe that. I don't want to get into it too much, POTUS says. I have an open mind. Nowadays, you can believe anything. Read between the lines. This interview is happening for a reason. These are the first steps. The door is open. If POTUS seems apathetic, MSM pushes it even harder. Strategy, right? That was from the earlier video that I showed you, the intro video. So a dumb deep military underground bases right here. Many of the United States deep underground military bases and tunnels have already been either severely damaged or destroyed by United States Patriot forces. Evidence of these battles are presented daily through the USGS earthquake maps. So shallow, poorly constrained earthquakes at a depth of 3 to 4 miles are, in all probability, caused by massive underground explosions at these dams or their connecting tunnels. That's what we've been saying for a long time. That number 15, China Lake, mind control and weapons research. Unbelievable. And I believe that this is the one that was being destroyed. This is exactly the pinpoint of where these earthquakes were taking place, at China Lake. Mind control and weapons research. They're getting rid of it, guys. The deep state and the evil is dying. By the way, the Cali earthquake's epicenter wasn't just near the naval weapons base at China Lake. It was at the epicenter. It occurred 1 mile directly beneath it. There are no coincidences, people. Just because some anon, this is from Paul Sarin, just because some anon made a meme on 8chan doesn't mean to make it true. This lens flare meme is bullcrap, he says. This is not my wording, this is his wording, but I'm putting it out there. This meme proves nothing. It is totally dishonest. Its purpose, a cross-reflection on the width axis, and also a cross-reflection on the depth axis. Ridiculous. So basically, we see the lights up in here that I can see barely, but you will see a better picture of it. They say that it was coming from the stage lights shining way up here. You know, I don't know. It doesn't seem to make much sense to me, but, you know, I can't just say that, right? Okay, I consulted with my graphist extraordinaire, he says. He is the closest thing to an image forensic analysis that you'll ever get in the civilian life. Those are not in any way lens flares. Game over. They are unidentified, they are flying, they are objects, right? And we can see here, and I will show you a better picture. Just trust me, I'm just kind of going through this, okay? I am a film editor for Fox News. Tomorrow, during the Tucker Carlson interview, Trump talks about aliens with Tucker. It is not a one-off question, but an entire segment devoted to it. Trump admits that aliens are real, and then proceeds to talk about how the Navy pilots are fine men. Tucker keeps pushing him back on the subject, though. One part that was interesting, Tucker asked him, why do you think they are hiding in? Trump, I don't know. Maybe they think we're crazy, and laughs. Tucker, if they are hiding, when do you think they will be able to reveal themselves? Trump, I don't know. I guess we will have to wait and see, won't we? And then gives a smirk. Tucker asks, so just to be clear, you think that aliens are real and that we will just have to wait and see when they reveal themselves? Trump, maybe we'll find out, won't we? Again, this is obviously could have been edited out of the real interview, right? Again, I don't know if this person really works for Fox News. I'm just putting it out there. Remember, use your own discernment. But you know how much editing takes place in these very big interviews with POTUS. They can make anything look any way. But I mean, could this have been taken out of context? Could this have been taken out of the interview? Again, Space Force declassifies many new crafts. We will be making an appearance. Boom. From Lady Liberty 52. Those are the lights. This is what they were talking about with the reflection from the stage. No way that is a lens flare. No way. In my opinion, I just don't believe it's a lens flare. Again, we can see them here. They're saying it's coming from this. All the way up there. Just don't believe that. I don't even believe, do the lights even add up? Do they match? Has anyone even looked into that? Again, very, very strange. Was this Space Force? Is this Space Force we're witnessing? We knew that they were rolling out the new military equipment. Was this Space Force coming out? I do not know, but I find it to be extremely interesting, my friends. Guys, I know this was a lot of information, and I know that this was a very long podcast, but we got through a lot. I will be trying to get in touch with McAllister TV, I believe that's what it is, Linda Paris. I'm trying to get in touch with her. Also, I am trying to get in touch with Jordan Sather. I believe we will be talking about this sort of thing maybe early next week. No guarantees, but we have been talking through Twitter. And yeah, McAllister TV, I did send you an email, so please get back to me. I would love to talk to you about this stuff. And same with you, Jordan. Guys, if you found this informative and you enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Twitter at TRUreporting. We just hit 12,000 followers. If you would care to donate to this channel and keep it afloat, you can go to my PayPal or Patreon, and we also have a P.O. box. All of those links are in the description box below. Guys, please leave a like on this video. The more likes that it receives, the more times it will be recommended to other viewers, thus more eyes on the truth. Please be kind and loving to one another and expect many more podcasts throughout the weekend. I will talk to you all very soon. God bless. Bye-bye.